All right, welcome to halftime. Can you hear? All right, halftime here at Yankee Stadium. Pinstripe Bowl. Nebraska leads 13-2 over Boston College. Interesting first half, to say the least. Nick Sater with myself, Adam Carricker also here from the press box at Yankee Stadium. And guys, I think the story of the first half has been a little bit of Vincent Chambers defensively and offensively. 2 touchdowns, of course, unfortunately, an extra point lost for a 2-point conversion or 2 points to Boston College. But overall, I think they're happy with the first half.
Dude, I think I was just going to say, I think Nebraska's looked really well so far. As far as we look like the better team. Running the ball, throwing the ball. Now, are we taking care of the discipline side of things? No. We're -2 in the turnover margin already. Their only points have come off a block PAT return for 2 points, which is why it's 13-2 instead of 14-0. You look at the defense, though, what is that? 3 fourth-down stops in the first half. And the last one, apparently Bill O'Brien doesn't believe in kicking the ball at all, punting or field goals. That's okay with me. Keep doing that, Bill. You're doing a great job. But the defense gets another fourth-down stop. So the defense, while we've given up, it's crazy. We've given up 197 total yards so far, and we have 189 in our own right. But the defense itself has given up 0 points. So the defense has come up big in big moments. Now, I'd like to get them off the field a little bit sooner and not give up so many yards, but I don't see a whole lot to complain about when it comes to the defense. Offensively, we got to take care of the ball. And for the love of all the tolling, snap, catch, kick. It's not that hard on special teams.
Well, you mentioned the snapping piece of it. I mean, guys, you're going to start to have an actual conversation with special teams. You can bring in all the transfers you want. You can bring in new guys, you can bench guys. You can bring in another snap. And the only way that Boston College got points today is on a snap on the field goal or the extra point attempt that hit the turf. I mean, we go through this every single day. Nebraska's had staff changes. They've had staff adjustments. They've had just rearranging of roles. How can we go through another year of this as spectators, as people that follow and cover this program, and not have this conversation about special teams changes, whether that's with the personnel on the field or whether that is who is running the personnel? It doesn't matter, but here we are again. Nebraska, like you said, Adam, Jake, you agree with this, is Nebraska, this is a game Nebraska should win comfortably. They are the better team. They've been more dominant. Boston College, as Adam said, they've only attempted now with that missed field goal in the first quarter 4 field goals all season long. All season long.
That is crazy. That's crazy.
They are 2 for 4 on field goals now. They went for it on a 4th and 14 when they could have done the ultimate Iowa thing ever and punt the ball and try to pin Nebraska deep. They go for it on 4th and 14. Nebraska gets a gift. They miss it, or they're unsuccessful. And Nebraska, they're up by double digits, yeah. But, man, this feels more like one that in the second half Nebraska should run away with.
Now, you mentioned, Nick, again, the kicking game. I saw a stat that Nebraska now has 9 blocked kicks on the season. That is second worst in the country. 6 field goals plus extra points, 3 punts. 9 blocked kicks. It's terrible. This will result in 2 points for Boston College. But the second half, like you said, Nick, Nebraska is the better team, but you cannot be -2 in turnovers. Boston College likes to be aggressive and go for it on 4th downs, which has hurt them so far. But they get the ball first in the second half. And I would say after that first half, I would be disappointed if Nebraska were to lose this football game.
Oh, Nebraska has to win. And Boston College is without their 2 best players. With all due respect to Isaiah Naylor, Micah Mazuka, and Tommy Hill. Like, Micah was in and out the entire year. Tommy was gone at the end of the year. I wanted to see what Ja'Cory Barty was going to do today anyways, with all due respect to Isaiah Naylor. We're not really missing key pieces. They're missing their 2 best players. All conference players. The guy who led the entire country in sacks, 16.5 this year. What kind of a dynamic would he have made today? Nebraska's the better team. Even when they're on Boston College's roster, I still think Nebraska's the better team. We're clearly the better team. We should win. Now, I could have said the same thing during the Iowa game with their 3rd-string walk-on quarterback, and I'm not trying to, be overly negative or put a hex on us. But if we don't beat ourselves, they will not beat us. All right, we got an 11-point lead. We're the better team. We should win. We just got to go out and finish and just be a whole lot more disciplined and we should have some happy Husker fans and finish with a winning record for the first time in a long time.
Let's think about something positive here, guys, to where if Nebraska's offense, they were able to get into a little bit of a rhythm early on. And whether it was through running the ball, with Emmett or Ramir. I mean, it was really good to see Ramir be able to get a touchdown in what's going to be his last game as a Husker. And he's also a New Jersey guy, went to Bergen Catholic in New Jersey, so he's close to home there. But then on top of that, there's been some inconsistencies with Dylan Raiola's long ball. That was one of his best traits coming out of high school was his ability to throw an accurate long ball or deep ball. And it hasn't necessarily been there. It was a spectacular catch right out of the gate by Jamal Banks. But ultimately, Nebraska hasn't been able to connect on guys on the deep balls and position Corey Martin to Jalen what we get. I would see them maybe can we get them to stretch the field a little bit more in the second half?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see in the second half. Like you said, Nick, Jamal Banks, great catch in the first quarter. But they have to play thinner football. And here's the deal. We talked about before the game how this field was going to cause problems. It hasn't been that bad. We haven't seen a disaster on the field. One injury for Boston College in the second quarter, but knock on wood that stays the same with no injuries. But I haven't seen a loss of footing that's affected many plays. You saw a pass that caused a divot in the turf in a couple of different plays, but overall, the field, which we were very skeptical of before the game, has not been a huge problem. So now the rain has stopped. We should have a somewhat cleaner second half in general with the field of play and no elements coming down also.
Yeah, like you said, knock on wood real quick. The biggest influence the field's had so far, I guarantee you have to play a little bit slower to keep your footing, which is going to help Boston College because we are faster and more athletic. It's not night and day, but we do have the edge there. The biggest thing I've seen, I think first quarter, we made a tackle and then slid like 10 yards out of bounds once we got there. But that's been about the biggest impact the field's made so far. Although Boston College's mascot did nail a Nebraska fan with a pretty solid snowball earlier in the game. My favorite part was Nick was like, hey, let's go positive. And then he starts to attack Dylan Raiola's lack of a long passing game. Nick, what's going on with that, buddy? I thought we were going to be positive.
Okay. Let's talk about some of the bright spots today because there's been a couple of young guys that have really stepped up. One of those is Vincent Shavers. Yes. How about Donovan Jones?
Yes.
Defensive back out of the city of Omaha. Donovan Jones filling into the spot where Tommy Hill would normally be in the secondary there. There's been some poor play from the secondary so far today. Tackling's been a little bit of an issue. We'll chalk that up to the field conditions. But guys, the bright spots have been a couple of young guys, Donovan Jones and obviously Vincent Shavers.
Yeah, I don't think anybody really knew who Donovan Jones was before this game. I had asked Nick, like, who is this guy? Like, yeah, he's a backup, and he's a local kid from Nebraska, and that's great. Bowl games, you see a lot of great stories of players who have not played due to opt-outs, due to guys that have transferred to other places, and so giving a chance to shine is wonderful for Vincent Shavers and Donovan Jones. But they'll be asked to make plays in the second half. And Shavers has been really the story defensively in the game. One sack, he forced a fumble that was recovered by Boston College on that sack. He has been everywhere. And no matter what happens, you look at that kid for next year, you start to think of big things of what his future looks like here in Lincoln.
Vincent's going to be fun to watch. We got a young linebacker crew. You and I were chatting about it, I think, Jay. You talk about Vincent Shavers, Willis McGahee Jr., then the guys coming in from Dawson Merritt to Christian Jones. Pierce Newberry's getting overlooked. He's got to put some weight on. But our young athletic linebacking core is going to be fun to watch next year. You'll look at the chess pieces on offense, and I don't want to start talking about next year too much, but you're starting to see it today. You're seeing Jalen Lloyd, Ja'Cory Barney, a lot of these guys. Quentin Ives getting his 6th carry of the year, his first touchdown run of his career. You're going to see Nebraska with a lot of young talent and ability going forward. The one thing I would say with the passing game is you're seeing a Dana Holgorsen passing offense because he's going to use the short passes as an extension of the run game. And so we may not run the ball as much, but we will use the short passes and the screens, which I know is kind of a bad word here in Nebraska for a while, but we're going to use short passes and screens as an extension of the run game under Dana Holgorsen going forward. But I would like to see us stretch the field vertically a little bit more as well in the second half, hopefully.
Once again, the halftime score, Nebraska 13, Boston College. We want to thank our sponsors who made this coverage possible. J-Tech Construction Solar. Don't wait for the final whistle. Score big with J-Tech. From a new roof to energy-saving windows and solar panels. Call them at 402-261-3682 to schedule your estimate today. High Electric, call them at 402-466-6606. Everywhere between Lincoln and Omaha. Lincoln Industries has applications and job openings. Apply today at lincolnindustries.com. And of course, A1 Automotive, always honest answers. A1 Automotive at 11th and L in downtown Lincoln. We will take a break. We'll wrap this up for a halftime coverage. We'll probably do something in the post game, but for Adam Carrick, Nick Sander, I'm Jake Sorensen. Enjoy the second half, and hopefully we see a Husker victory at the end of this. We'll talk to you after the game.